Well, first off, I'd like to congratulate Colorado Mesa on a great season. Very well coached team. We'd watched 2 or 3 or 4 games of them on film before we came to the tournament. The thing that impressed me is with them was how they knew each other and how they executed on defense and how they executed on offense. And I've always said, you know, there's only one champion at the end of this tournament. That doesn't mean the other 63 teams had bad years. So I compliment them on a great year. Again, just a well-coached team, hard-playing team, and we were very fortunate to come out of that game with a win. But I thought, you know, our kids got a lead, was playing great, and then there in the second half, they started making a run, and they played great, and we didn't really respond, I think, in a championship manner, but I think at the end we found a way to win the ball game, and that's kind of been the last semester or so. That's been our way of operating. We kind of get down and come back, and you know, hopefully we can learn not to do that, and we just play good all the time. But you know, if you can win your first round game, stay in the tournament, move up the bracket, that's a good thing.
Angie, you were leading the score. Just kind of talk about what worked for you tonight and what you saw from them.
What worked for me is when I saw them coming with the double team, I just started to face up and look for my teammates on the cut.
Sydney, kind of same question for you. What did you see?
Same thing with her. I just saw the driving lanes. My three, they knew I was a three-point shooter, so I knew I had to score other ways.
And Coach, you have West Texas A&M tomorrow night. You got to see them play earlier.
You had to bring that up, didn't you?
Just kind of
We didn't even get 10 minutes to enjoy this win. He tells us we're playing, I don't even know what time we play tomorrow, 5?
7:30.
7:30, okay, that'll give us a little bit more time. We played them a couple of years ago, you know, or last year, whenever it was.
2 years ago.
And, you know, they've got a great tradition here, you know, a great winning tradition. They're playing on their home court, and so they have a lot of advantages. You know, they, again, a team that is just fluid in what they do. They seem like they've played together all their lives, and I know they're not, you know, they've got a lot of new players on their team. But it's going to be a tremendous challenge to play, you know, arguably the best team in the country. They were number 1 in the preseason, and, you know, they ought to be in the top 5 because we've scrimmaged Pittsburgh State, and we've seen those other schools, and, you know, from watching them on film and watching tonight, you know, they're as good as anybody I've seen or we've played against. So it's going to be a tremendous challenge. But, you know, we look at it as a tremendous opportunity. You know, it's we're going to get the ball as many times as they're going to get it. We're just going to see if we can do with it a little bit better than what they do. So we're looking forward to it. And hopefully from now on, we just, you know, the key thing is how much rest can we get before we tee it up tomorrow.
I have one question for you. Were you aware that the young lady shooting is an over 90% free throw shooter for the year?
The shooting there at the end? Heck no. I don't even know what our kids are shooting.
Well, because my question was going to be, when you saw that's who they fouled, were you thinking, oh Lord, we're going to overtime?
No, I just, you know, I really didn't. My assistants keep up with that. If we get down to the end of the game and we're wanting to foul somebody, my assistants know to give me a couple of numbers that I can tell the players to foul. But as far as knowing that was one of them, no, I really didn't.
What was it like playing the last game of the day? Obviously in tournaments you got to be ready to play sometimes a lot earlier than normal. Here you have 3 other games before you. Did the team seemed a little out of sync? I guess a lot of turnovers tonight.
Well, we played our semifinal, our conference tournament, and we had a choice of playing at 5 or 7:30, and I took the 7:30 game. I knew if whether we won or not, we were probably going to be a 4 or 5 seed. And that would mean we would play a 7:30 game, so we actually practiced on that routine before we ever came down here. So we just followed that routine and ignored the fact that there was really 3 other games. We just went through a routine of when we would come to the gym and when we would do our pregame and stuff like that, like we were the only game that was going to be played. Because we've had a lot of experience in national tournaments, be it at junior college level. This is our first trip to the national tournament at the Division II level. We've been eligible for 4 years, but this is the first time we've made it. But it's survive and advance. If you start worrying about what's going to happen tomorrow, you're going to get your butt kicked today. So we put everything we had into getting ready for this game today, and that's why I had to ask. I really didn't know what time we played tomorrow. I had no idea. I had a real strong indication of who we were going to play, but I didn't know what time it is, so we'll do the same type routine tomorrow probably.
So that makes you the third team today that won its first game ever.
They won their first game ever? They won their first game ever in the NCAA tournament? Yes, ma'am. This first time we've been to it. and-
That's three today.
Do what?
All three except
Three
that
of
you
the
take.
four is.
Is that right? Well, I didn't know that. That's a
Yeah.
heck of a story in itself, isn't it?
Were you worried that your volleyball team knocked Mesa out of the NCAAs as well?
No, but I really wasn't. I knew it now that you mentioned it, but if I'm not mistaken, I think we may open the season with them next year. We're going up to play, we're gonna play Mesa in a classic in Colorado next year, and they're in the classic, so I don't know if we'll play in the first game or second, but, you know, they'll remember this game, I'm sure, and so will we. But I wanted to try to get to where we can play some of the RMAC schools, because we're gonna see them in the regional tournament every year. Such a strong conference with outstanding coaches and great tradition that we want to go and play them, and we've invited some of them to come down and play us also.
All right, we're good. Thank you very much.
Okay, thank you.
Congratulations.